On the edge of Russia's border with Kazakhstan, hidden behind layers of steel gates, barred windows, and an eerie silence, stands a prison so feared, inmates say it's worse than death. Its name is whispered with dread: Black Dolphin. Officially known as Penal Colony No. 6, this maximum security facility houses the country's most brutal murderers, terrorists, cannibals, and serial killers. But what makes this place different isn't just the crimes of its inmates, it's the daily life they endure. Here, prisoners live under a regime so strict, even blinking without permission can lead to punishment. From the moment they enter, they are broken, physically and psychologically, and they never leave. This is not just a prison, it's a graveyard for the living. Welcome to Black Dolphin, Russia's prison of death. The prison that time forgot. Black Dolphin Prison isn't new. It dates back to the 1700s, originally used as a fortress. Over time, it evolved into a prison, and by the late 20th century, it became a home for Russia's most dangerous convicts. Located in Seoul-Iletsk, near the Kazakhstan border, its isolated location is part of its design. Escape is not just difficult, it's unthinkable. The name Black Dolphin comes from a grim statue near the entrance, a large black metal dolphin sculpted by the inmates themselves. Ironically playful on the outside, the prison is anything but joyful within. The facility is shrouded in secrecy. Most Russian citizens know only fragments about it, and journalists rarely gain access. Those who do describe it as a psychological tomb where prisoners are buried alive by the weight of their crimes, their guilt, and the state's unforgiving punishment. This isn't just about incarceration, it's about obliteration. Inside the gates, life as a ghost. Once inside Black Dolphin, prisoners cease to exist as individuals. Each inmate is assigned a number, stripped of personal identity. They are under 24/7 surveillance, cameras in every corner, guards watching every step. Inmates are never referred to by name. They are objects to be managed. Each day starts at 6 a.m. sharp. There is no talking, no sitting, no relaxing. For 16 hours a day, inmates must stand. That's right, stand. In tiny windowless cells barely large enough to stretch your arms, they remain upright, motionless. Beds are bolted to the wall and folded up during the day. Resting is not allowed. Food is a watery soup, a piece of bread, sometimes a few grains of buckwheat. Everything is delivered through a small slot. Guards never risk entering the cells. When movement is necessary, like going to the toilet or for a medical check, inmates are blindfolded, bent at the waist, and escorted by 2 guards with arms locked behind their backs. This method of movement is infamous. The prisoner is forced into a position of total submission, unable to see, unable to resist. It's a system designed not just to control, but to break. No eye contact, no interaction, no humanity. Every aspect of life is regulated. There's no recreation, no family visits, no phone calls. Mail is censored. The only freedom they're allowed is a brief walk, still blindfolded, in a small caged yard once a day. To survive here is to embrace nothingness. Prisoners talk to themselves, hum quietly, or recite the same memories over and over, trying to hold on to fragments of their past. But over time, memory fades, and so does the will to live. Who gets sent here? The monsters among men. Not just anyone ends up in Black Dolphin. This is the end of the line for Russia's worst. Over 700 inmates are locked inside, and collectively, they've murdered more than 3,500 people. On average, each prisoner has taken 5 lives. Some, far more. You'll find men like Vladimir Nikolaev, the infamous cannibal of Novochebokssarsk, who murdered a drinking buddy, butchered the corpse, and sold the meat at local markets disguised as exotic cuts of kangaroo. Or Alexander Elistratov, who strangled his victims and stored their corpses in his garage, hidden from neighbors for years. And there's Maxim Vladimirovich, convicted of 19 murders. When questioned, he described his crimes with no remorse, like recalling grocery lists. Many are serial killers. Some are rapists turned murderers. Others are terrorists who plotted mass destruction or assassinations, each of them deemed too dangerous for any normal facility. Black Dolphin has no death penalty. Russia abolished capital punishment in 1996, but many consider this prison a death sentence in itself. Life imprisonment here doesn't mean living, it means enduring. Guards are specially trained and undergo psychological evaluations to ensure they can work in such a cold environment without succumbing to compassion or to madness themselves. This is where Russia buries its demons, not in the ground, but in cells. Security and control, no escape. The security measures in Black Dolphin are unparalleled in Russia. The prison is divided into multiple security zones, each sealed off by thick iron doors and locked checkpoints. Guards are rotated constantly to prevent the formation of routines or relationships. Corruption is nearly impossible. Each inmate is housed in a double-barred cell. Beyond the bars, there's another locked gate, then a corridor, then another gate. Every door requires multiple keys held by different officers. Even basic movements, like walking to the washroom, require official approval and multiple guards. Escape? It's a fantasy. Not a single person has ever escaped from Black Dolphin. The cells are soundproof, minimizing the chances of communication between inmates. Surveillance is constant. Night vision cameras monitor even in total darkness. Lights remain on 24/7, ensuring prisoners can't hide anything, not even from themselves. There's no privacy, no weakness, no breaks in the system. If a prisoner shows signs of mental instability, they're sedated, evaluated, and sometimes simply left to unravel. This isn't just a prison, it's a machine. A system built not to rehabilitate, but to contain evil. And it does so with terrifying efficiency. Psychological impact. Existing in perpetual silence. Black Dolphin isn't just a place of confinement, it's a psychological fortress where time seems to stand still. For inmates, the punishment goes beyond locked doors and steel bars. The real challenge is the complete removal of sensory and emotional stimulation. Experts in criminal psychology note that prolonged isolation, combined with extreme restrictions on movement, speech, and contact, can deeply affect the human mind. In environments like this, many individuals begin to experience confusion, emotional numbness, and intense anxiety within just a couple of years. Without normal human interactions, even simple concepts like day and night or past and future begin to blur. The prison routine is deliberately rigid. There are no personalized mental health services or emotional support systems. Inmates follow the same strict regimen each day, monitored around the clock. Rest is controlled. Movement is controlled. Communication is minimized to essential commands. The result is a condition where many inmates struggle with identity, memory, and hope. Even prison staff, in rare public statements, have described the facility's atmosphere as heavy. The silence is deep and constant, creating an overwhelming sense of stillness. One former officer likened it to walking through a museum of ghosts. This isn't simply incarceration, it's a transformation. Inmates don't just serve sentences, they exist in a suspended state, disconnected from the outside world and often from themselves. Over time, many become a version of themselves that no longer remembers what life was like before the walls closed in. The prison of no return, a place beyond forgiveness. Black Dolphin Prison is more than just a correctional facility. It represents the ultimate conclusion for individuals convicted of Russia's most severe crimes. Once sentenced here, there are no release dates, no second chances, and no realistic hope of returning to the outside world. It is designed to be permanent. What sets Black Dolphin apart is not only its high-level security, but also its philosophy of containment. While some correctional institutions around the world focus on rehabilitation and reintegration, this prison operates under a different mandate: permanent separation from society. The belief is clear. Those who have committed the most grievous offenses must be removed not only physically, but also socially and psychologically. Inmates are held under constant surveillance. There is no possibility of parole. Life here is lived out in a highly regulated environment where even the smallest actions are monitored and controlled. This system, while harsh, reflects a broader view within certain sectors of the criminal justice system, that there are crimes so serious, rehabilitation may no longer be a priority. Instead, the focus is complete prevention of further harm. As global conversations around justice continue to evolve, Black Dolphin stands as a stark contrast. It raises difficult questions. What is the purpose of a prison? Should the focus be punishment or reform? At what point does safety for the public outweigh hope for the individual? For now, Black Dolphin remains a chilling monument to finality. Once you enter, you don't just lose your freedom, you leave your former life behind entirely. If you've made it this far, remember this: Freedom isn't just a right, it's a fragile privilege. One false move, one moment of darkness, and you can find yourself staring at life from behind the eyes of a Black Dolphin inmate. If this journey into Russia's most feared prison chilled you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping prison stories from around the world. Have a prison you want us to cover next? Drop it in the comments. We're watching. Stay safe and stay out of trouble.